The five friends were known in their circle as thrill seekers. They were always searching for the next adventure, a new experience that would send their adrenaline soaring. They were a tight-knit group, having grown up together and shared countless memories over the years. One day, while browsing the internet, they came across an article about Desoto Caverns. The article described it as a system of underground caves with stunning natural formations, and the idea of exploring them excited the group. They immediately made plans to embark on this adventure. They arrived at the entrance of the caverns early in the morning, eager to begin their exploration. The entrance was unremarkable, just a small opening in the side of a hill. They donned their helmets and headlamps and began to descend into the dark abyss below. The caverns were nothing short of breathtaking. They were filled with stalagmites and stalactites, cascading waterfalls, and crystal-clear pools. As they moved further into the caves, the air grew colder, and the only sound was the echoing of their footsteps. They were moving along one of the narrow passages when they reached a particularly tight spot. The space was so narrow that they had to slide through on their bellies, one at a time. As the last member of the group was making his way through, he suddenly got stuck. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't free him. The panic set in. They were trapped, deep underground, with no way out. They had no idea how long it would take for rescuers to find them, or if they would be found at all. The group was quickly running out of supplies and needed a way to escape. As the hours ticked by, the tension in the group grew. They started to argue and bicker, with blame being thrown around. It was a slow descent into chaos, as the once strong bond between them began to crumble. The situation grew worse when they began to hear strange noises coming from deeper within the caves. At first, they thought it was just their imagination, but as the sounds grew louder and more ominous, they knew they were not alone. Something was in the cave with them, and it was closing in. The group's fear and paranoia grew with every passing moment. The noises sounded like they were getting closer, and the darkness seemed to swallow them up. The cave, once a wonderland of natural beauty, was now a tomb, and the group was trapped inside. As time passed, they started to lose hope. Their supplies were dwindling, and the chances of rescue seemed to diminish with each passing day. The fear of dying in the cave began to overshadow the fear of the creature lurking in the darkness. One of the group members eventually snapped. He became convinced that the only way to survive was to kill the creature, whatever it may be. The rest of the group tried to talk him out of it, but he was too far gone. He took a rock and started to move deeper into the caves. The group heard his screams before they saw anything. They heard the sound of flesh being torn and bones breaking. They knew he was dead, and that the creature was now coming for them. They huddled together in fear, listening to the sound of the creature moving through the caves. It was getting closer, and they knew that their time was running out. Just when they thought it was over, they heard a sound that they had been praying for. The sound of rescue. They heard the sound of voices, and the light of headlamps shining in the darkness. The group was rescued, just in the nick of time. They emerged from the cave, shaken and traumatized by their experience. The rescue team gave them water and food, checked them for injuries, and led them out of the cave. As they were escorted out, the group members couldn't help but glance over their shoulders, wondering if the creature was still following them. Once they were safely outside, they were interviewed by reporters. They gave their account of the horror they had experienced in the depths of the Desoto Caverns. The local authorities conducted an investigation, but they could not find any evidence of a creature living in the cave. Some people in the town believed it was just a tall tale created by the group to make their experience seem more thrilling. The group members never spoke about their experience again. The trauma of being stuck in the cave and the fear of the unknown creature had changed them. They were never able to go on any more adventures after that. Instead, they chose to live a more settled life, away from any more dangers. Years later, one of the members of the group decided to go back to the Desoto Caverns. He wanted to face his fear and to see if the creature was real or just a figment of their imagination. He arranged a private tour of the cave and descended into its depths. He saw the same natural formations that had amazed him years ago. As he walked deeper into the cave, he started to feel the same sense of dread that he had felt before. But this time, it was different. He was no longer a thrill seeker. He was a man who had faced his fear and had come back to conquer it. He continued on, deeper into the cave, until he reached the spot where his friend had died. He looked around, but he saw nothing but darkness. There were no sounds, no creatures, and no fears. The only thing that remained was the memory of what had happened, and the knowledge that he had overcome his fear. As he climbed out of the cave, He realized that he had found something more valuable than the thrill of adventure. He had found courage and strength, and a deeper appreciation for life. The Desoto Caverns had changed him forever, and he knew that he would never forget the experience.